I'm gonna record this so that I can send it to you after and you can go through it on your own.
Okay.
All right, so you're familiar with this side of things, right? So you know how to do the buyer estimate. You said that you were doing them a little bit yourself.
I have not been doing them, so it's normally the lender who's doing them. So
Oh, okay. All right. So I know you said you wanted to move over to more of a listing side of things. So do you even want to go over the buyer side or do you want to just
yeah,
go
but
right to
yeah, we can go because I still have more buyers
Okay,
than
sounds
sellers. So
good. So for the address, I'm just gonna use addresses that I have kind of in my
okay.
arsenal. All right, so as you saw, the addresses are powered by Google. So when
Mm-hmm.
you pull addresses, you know they're very accurate. When it's a condo building, it will pull the condo building and then it'll ask you for the specific unit. And that's so
Okay.
that it can accurately pull up the tax information. So it will use the most recent tax bill.
Oh,
Obviously,
what?
this is a bit low. I'm assuming these people have homestead exemption, maybe living in the home for a while. So this may be, especially for Indy Atlantic, we know that that's pretty low. So
Mm-hmm.
you'll see later, it's going to suggest a different tax amount for us later.
Okay.
But for right now, I'm just going to press done. You can change the loan type, but we'll keep it at conventional. For the home price, not sure why that was there, but I'm going to just do 500,000 to keep it nice and even.
Yes.
All right. 20% down payment. We'll leave it
Mm-hmm.
there because that avoids the PMI. So for the interest rate, it does pull the average interest rate and it's very on top of updating those. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you'll see 6.6 right now, but maybe in 2 weeks, once it's lowered a little bit more, you'll see that reflected here.
Okay.
Miscellaneous is anywhere that you see these little gears is something that you can click into and customize. So for
Okay.
miscellaneous, you can add to the buyer's closing costs or you can subtract from the buyer's closing costs.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
these are, you know, they give you a list of the common items on either side,
Mm-hmm.
like those, but you can always put in your own items and add as many fields as you need to.
Good.
Then moving down, we have our 1.5% insurance as usual. There's our taxes. The HOA, I do happen to know, is $225 per month, but you obviously see you have the opportunity to do annual or quarterly.
Perfect.
So a question that I get a lot is about like the Suntree Vieira area, how like there's multiple HOAs going on. So what I suggest is kind of just like doing the math to see what their annual HOA fee would be.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
For the closing date, we're gonna push that out by a month. So I'll go into April and do the 12th. And then we press compute. So this is kind of what I was showing you yesterday. Remember how I
Mm-hmm.
adjusted the monthly payment and then everything else around it changed?
Okay.
So you can do that here. You can also do it on this side. So let's say their monthly payment is a little bit more flexible, but they have to be very strict about what they're bringing to the closing table. So you could say like, okay, you can only bring 110 or, you know, maybe let's say 115,000 to the closing table. So now,
Uh-huh.
since you can only do that, let's see what that'll get you on the monthly payment side.
Yeah, that's very nice because there are some calculators that continue putting other values to come to the number we want. This is
Right,
interactive and it's
exactly. And it just does it
fabulous.
in a second. So,
Mm.
and one of the great things, I mean, I don't know if you saw it added the PMI. It was like, okay, now you're below 20%.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
here's the PMI. So I think that that's really cool. It gives people a very realistic expectation of what they have coming up. So at the top here, if you click on Smart Compare, you get to compare different loan types. So you can press edit and then you can make different loans. So if you have a lender that you love working with and you want to get them to use this so that you have kind of information from the same sources, you can absolutely
Hmm.
get them on here. We would love to have them. And then you can do different loan comparisons. On the
Oh,
other
interesting.
side of the estimate, we have loan details, and that's this loan that we ran over here, kind of just breaking everything down, including
Hmm.
full amortization schedule.
Okay. Hmm.
which, we don't care about seeing that, but, engineers, lawyers, they love seeing investors, they like seeing that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So when you're back at the estimate, and let's say you were good, everything's ready to go, and you want to send this out to your client, you would press this button. Oh, hold on, let me cover these two things really quick.
The
So
closing
we looked
detail.
in here yesterday, how you can adjust the closing costs, right? So you could press edit right here,
Mhm.
and then you can adjust all these closing costs to be, what you've just, or, what's been
Okay,
negotiated and all that.
prepaid
You
and so
understand?
on. Mhm.
All right, once you come out of here, so this button, it looks like a phone with some arrows because that's exactly what it is. If you were on mobile, you would just turn your phone to the side, but we're gonna click the button when we're on desktop. And this is really cool. It shows how offer price can affect my payment. So right
Oh,
here, it's showing what the increase is. So it's starting here, but then if you offer 10,000 more dollars, which makes your offer much more competitive, you're only looking at a $79 increase per month.
that's
Very cool,
cool.
right? So
Very.
if you come in here to the gear, you can change this to show the monthly payments instead of the difference. So I just want to show you what that looks like. So here, now we have our base price, and this is showing the increase of $76 or whatever it was.
Mhm.
It's just showing
Yes,
it as the total.
absolutely.
Does that make sense? Okay. So now you can really show people like, hey, if you can give up one lunch, because $79 is like a lunch between two people now, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Not even a
Yeah.
dinner anymore. Like it's a dinner without drinks.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
can forego one dinner with no drinks, if you can just eat at home,
It-
you can afford this house. It really
it-
gives people a lot of power.
Yeah.
So you could send that. This is, do you know this button? It's like the share button. That is always what
Mhm.
that button means. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go to share, print the PDF. I feel like I'm ready to share it. So when I'm in here, this is where yesterday on the phone, I was showing you, you could change the language to Portuguese.
Mhm.
All right, so this is where you would do that. Just a second.
It's really fantastic. Oh, let me comment while it's calculating. I received that message of the training that came wrong, but I didn't see it before it. And I went there to Total Wine. And then I talked to the guy, and he said, "Oh, I do. They do a lot of trainings in our room here. No, it was wonderful for me because I'm planning. I told you I'm planning the first time home buyer training." And then I asked him, "Oh, how is it to use your space? I just go to the website, see whether the date is free, and you just schedule it." I said, "And the cost?" He said, "No, it's for free." I said, "Wow!"
I know, that's
So
why we did it there. I'm so
so
sorry about that, Susanna. I
no,
tried
but it
emailing
was lucky
everybody.
for me because last week I didn't go and I went this week and I saw this wonderful place. So I was so happy. I said,
Good.
"Wow,
I'm glad it ended up in a positive way for you, but I am sorry about that. Give me 1 second. Let me log out and log back in again because I
okay,
think it's just like there's just too much data from the last time I was using this. So if that ever happens to you where something's not loading or anything like that, just do what I'm doing, log out and log back in again, and it
okay."
usually fixes it right away. The only thing is I'm probably gonna have to put in the information again, but no big deal. So let me just do that really quick. Oh, see, when we were on there before, it had the old
A different
interest
rate.
rate, and now that I like
Yeah,
refreshed
I
it,
thought it was low because
yeah,
since he doesn't have any points, 6.62 was low.
yeah. So now you can see like it was old because I hadn't refreshed this page yet.
Ah,
So
okay.
that was my mistake. I should have logged out and logged back in again before we started. But now you can see like how it's like immediate.
Mhm.
So all right, we had that, and then this, and we had this. Okay. So compute. We're good. This is what I was talking about with the tax information. So you can see this is the 2023 recorded tax, but then this is the tax rate that they are suggesting for this home. It is using the millage rate for Cape Canaveral. So you could hit that little arrow and then select the one that you want to use, right? And then press done. And now it's actually a bit higher because the tax rates for India Atlantic are a little bit higher than Cape Canaveral.
Oh, a lot higher.
It is, but keep that in mind. This is no homestead exemption. There's
Yes.
no kind of exemption at all. This is like, and you could tell your clients that, this is the very top dollar of taxes, and you would see a significant decrease with your homestead exemption. And that goes across the board for all of these. Like, just make sure that you're always telling people it's a preliminary estimate. And the
Sure.
reason we want to use the $9,000 over the $2,000 is because you'd rather be their hero, not the zero. So, you get to the closing table and you end up saving them money. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, Suzana, thank you. But if you get to the closing table and they have to pay more than what you told them, they're going to be like, Suzana, how could you?
Yeah. Which $9,000 you said that you're using?
For the taxes.
Okay, in
Yeah, I'm
Texas.
using
Okay.
this tax rate instead of the 2,300 for the recorded tax.
Okay.
Okay.
Which was last year's. Okay.
Right. So this would be someone moving into the home as a buyer, what they could expect for taxes with no homestead exemption. So I just pressed the share button like I tried to before. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's still it's still in Portuguese.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so once you set the language, it will kind of keep it on there for you. So if I go into customize and then I can select my
Okay.
language back to English and update. So that's how I would do that. And then over here, you have a lot of different templates for these estimates. You can make them look different. And if you want to have like the one template that you use for your brand, like that's great. I just want you to know they're available to you over here.
And then I can customize it and put my picture there and things like that, or
Yeah, absolutely. It could be your picture. This option, this template has the option for changing the color. So it's just like changing the little accents around to like the color that you want. See, so now I change it to red, and now all the little accents on there are red. So just little things that you can do. And yes, if you upload your photo, that will always on any template be right here at the bottom of the page. Okay. So another really cool thing that's on here are these home reports, these geo reports. So you have different templates for those as well. This is a really nice one. I think it looks very clean, but it gives you a ton of information about the local area. And this is really powerful. I mean, the amount of time and energy it would take for you to put something like this together, and you have it right here with one click.
Oh, yes, gym, supermarkets, very nice.
Everything, all the schools with the ratings. You get internet speed comparison. You get how great to walk, how loud is it in the neighborhood? Where are the closest restaurants in these different categories? And it's awesome. And one of my favorite things is that it always says provided by, provided by, provided by. And then there's a
yes, that's very
disclaimer.
good. So you're not accountable if something is
Exactly.
not
There's
there.
no liability for you. And I do these trainings a lot, and I've gotten some really great ideas of where to use these. The obvious one of a buyer coming from out of town who doesn't understand the area, right? But then you have, why not print them out and bring them to open houses?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? For people
Exactly.
walking in off the street that are unfamiliar with the neighborhood. Why not print this out and make it a part of your listing presentation? So that way, when you show the seller, like, hey, this is the kind of marketing that I can do for you. This is the information I have available. It's something different that not a lot of other realtors are going to be showing them.
Yes.
There's some really great ways to use this. So definitely, you can always make one for your own listing and use this social share button. Okay. And you can just share it right to Facebook. You can email, you can download, you can print it. all these great things.
Very great, really.
Yeah, so that is the buyer side. I'm gonna move on to the seller side if you feel
Sure.
comfortable. All right, cool. Sorry about that. I just wanted to tell our account person for this something that I just noticed. Okay. So for the seller, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add the address 103 Atlantic. All right. So for this side, yes, it's going to ask me about the taxes, but when I press next, it's going to ask me for an interest rate. So it's saying we found a loan recorded in 2021 for this amount. So if you know the interest rate, that's great, put it in here. If you or the sellers don't know what their interest rate is, it does give you the average for that time. And I know that the interest rate was 2.5. Okay, it was 2.5%. And this was a refinance. So the purchase of the home was in, I mean, it was like 18 years ago or so. And then they refinanced in 2021 and they refinanced like the end of October. And then by the middle of November, when it was recorded in the clerk reports, it showed up in here, which is really cool. So I'm going to use that and I'm going to compute. Now, this is the payoff. This is the estimated
Okay, so
for the home.
you put the day when they bought it, the rate at the time, and so they have the
You don't
balance
have to
here.
put the date. It pulls the date for you. You just know
Okay,
the interest rate.
okay.
So
Okay,
one
they
thing
pick
I
it
want
up
to,
in public information.
yes, exactly. So
That's fantastic.
isn't it? But I do want to point one thing out. So it's based on a 30-year fixed loan. Okay.
Yes.
So if needed, tap edit to change the estimated loan balance. So you can just type it in. If your sellers know their payoff, then great, put it in there. But if they're making extra payments, like I know this person, they were making $400 extra payment every month, and it's a 15-year term, not 30.
Yeah.
So this
So it's
isn't
much less than.
really 100% accurate, but it's only off by like $4,000, which in the
Mhm.
grand scheme of things doesn't really make too much of a difference.
Okay.
So it'll at least give your clients an idea of what their payoff is, right?
Wonderful.
Okay, so I could use it for the estimate right there. For the sales price, I'm going to keep it at the 500,000 just to make things easy. For the broker fee, you come in here and you can adjust the split. So let's say you want to do something like this. All right. When you press done, just make sure you hit this one just for this estimate. You
Okay.
don't want to do for all of them because then it'll
Sure.
lock it in and you'll be like, wait, why is this like this? All right, so for this estimate only. The field for repairs. So there you can only put like, $5,000 or something, right? It's $5,000 of repairs. If you have a client that likes to see things in a little bit more detail, or they want to see everything kind of itemized out individually, I suggest going into miscellaneous right here and then adding to the seller's closing costs, like roof repair, $2,000, septic repair, $3,000, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
Because then it's like an itemized list of what they're repairing instead of just this large sum of repairs. Totally
Okay.
up to you. I'm just giving you like a suggestion of a different option.
Mhm.
Then we have the taxes right there. Our HOA we know is $225 a month. There's the loan balance, there's the interest rate, and our closing date is already pushed out by a month. Reissue rate or reissue credit is a very simple concept. It is if you sell the home within 3 years of the purchase, you get a discount on your title policy. So
Okay.
selling the home within 3 years of the purchase gets you a discount on the title policy. And that has to be 3 years to the day.
Okay.
All right. So I'll just compute that. So now once I get here to my net at close, I have this option still. So, hey, Susanna, thank you for giving me this insight into what I'm going to make when I sell this house. I really appreciate it. But we did talk about this. I told you that I have to net 220. None, no less. So you press edit, you put in 220, you hit done, and now everything recalculates around that to make sure that you get that 220. So
The
hey,
sale price, okay.
yeah, the sales price pretty much just increases. And you,
Just
but
like
then go ahead.
there's an alarm here. I just already turned it off.
So it's like one of those things where it really puts a lot of power into your hands,
It
because
does.
now let's say it wasn't 220. Let's say it was 230 or even 250. Let's do 250 because we know sellers have pretty unrealistic expectations sometimes. It
Yes.
happens a lot. So let's say they say, "Oh, I need to make 250." Okay, well, as you can see, to get you the 250, we would need to sell the home at 534,000. So that's what we would need. But if you look at these comps, these comparisons, it's not really holding up. We can try, but then I feel that your house will be sitting on the market for too long, and we don't want that. So do you see kind of the power that it gives you? Like, you're able to
Absolutely.
show them. It's not just you telling them things anymore. You get to say, like, look at this. I'm not just giving you lip service. I'm not just telling you things. I'm showing them to you. So we have the same detailed closing costs that we saw on the other side. This same button, it doesn't really hold as much oomph as it did on the other side. This one, I mean, if you accept an offer that's $10,000 more, you're gonna net about $10,000 more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like a no-brainer, right?
Yes, sure.
However, so I'm gonna get out of that, but the stuff up here is so much more valuable than on the other side. So here on the seller side, when we have our net sheet, if I go to the left, I have a multiple offers tool. So I can just list out, add new offer, like all the multiple offers that I would get on a property, send it all to my client, let them review it, and then we can talk, putting the power back into their hands. You know, let's say you get 5 or 6 offers, but you, as their real estate advisor, puts a star next to the 2 out of 5 that you think are going to get them what they need. That's some way that you can kind of show them, like, hey, here's all 5 of the offers. These are the 2 that I think are best for you.
Sure.
But a
Oh,
little,
wonderful.
isn't it? So you can go into details, and it's not just this. I mean, you can put everything in there, concessions and anything. So on the other side of the net sheet, this is actually Tracy's favorite part of the website. So holding costs. I think I was mentioning this to you a little bit
Oh, yes.
when we were at the Brokers Open, right? So this is the graph that I was talking about. So the longer your house is on the market, the more it costs you. Now look at the timeline. This is only 1 to 4 months, right? If you go into here into days and you change it to months, now it's a longer timeline of 3 to 12 months.
Okay.
Also take a look. We only have 4 things on here: HOA, taxes, interest, insurance. No principal, no lawn care, no pool care, no utilities, no water bill, no, nothing. So use this button, the edit expenses, and just add everything together. See, there is a field for monthly utilities right here. So what I would do is I would take the last 3 power bills and the last 3 water bills, find the average for each, add them together, put that here. Under other monthly, I would just put everything, you know, everything that is a monthly recurring payment to do with the home, like
Yes,
lawn
the
care,
gardener, the pool guy, and everything.
even
Yeah,
the internet. What about the internet?
exactly. Yeah.
Cable, if they have cable. You know, some people will say, like, oh, well, cable, I'm not gonna, you know, they have streaming services and all that. So that one's a little bit like, but internet, everybody has to have internet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So adding as many monthly expenses as you possibly can will make this number go up, and people will be kind of scared in a sense to like list right now.
Mhm.
They're going to want a list right now. Hey, are you sure you want to spend this much money in 6 months, or would you rather make money right now?
Sure. Mhm.
Right. So this is a super powerful tool for that. Do you have any questions on this before I
Just a
go
minute.
over?
I have to plug in my
Okay, no problem. Go ahead.
my computer is running out of battery.
All good.
No question so far. It's clear and very efficient app. Very nice. So I'm back.
Okay. All right. So
I'll just take a picture here of the name again.
don't forget, this is being recorded, so you'll have all of this.
Ah, okay, good.
So once we're here, so this was the seller side. You know, if you go over here and you want to print the PDF, you still have some templates available over here, and you can still translate it into Portuguese or any other language. But you don't have those home reports here. So those
Mhm.
home reports with all like the local stuff in the
Okay,
neighborhood,
for
those are only in the buyer tab
buyers. Yeah,
and the
sure.
premium tab.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, so that is what we have here. Oh, I just want to show you, like when you press email to send it to your client, it puts it on there like so quickly. So you just put your client's email in here. Your email will automatically be put here, and then
Mhm.
it'll have a summary of what's going on in the email, and then the
Mhm.
whole net sheet will be attached. Okay.
Oh. Mhm.
So it's like right from here, you get to just send it right off, which is so great. Okay, so on the calculators tab, there's a lot here. There's a lot of calculators going on. You have the buy down calculator, you have then versus now to compare interest rates, you have an equity review to show people how much equity they have in their home. If you have somebody that just wants to see the fees at Supreme Title, the closing fees, you can go right here and it, you know, you only have to put in a couple pieces of information. It's not as extensive as the full net sheet. You have a flip calculator, figuring out extra payments, iBuyer comparison. So the iBuyer is like the open door, Redfin, that kind of thing, where it's like a no realtor, but
Mhm.
someone's digitally selling people's home. That's what these are. So you can say like, hey, this is how you would compare for a realtor to these online things. That's a
Mhm.
really cool one. So we don't have time to go over all of these today. But as you're exploring them, you know where to find me. You can always ask me questions.
Sure.
Very easy to use, and you can always use this button, chat with us, and they can
Okay.
help walk you through because they're on Texas time, so they're from I want to say like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. our time.
Okay.
Okay,
Good.
so it's a good amount of time. So that's on the calculators. Estimates is where you would have your saved estimates. Like if you had saved any of the buyer estimates or seller net sheets, you can always access them here. And now this, Suzana, this is what we're here for. The marketing side of the app. Let's do it. So this is the premium. It is $10 for the year, $10 for a whole year,
Wow.
which is amazing, right?
Yes.
So every month at the beginning of the month, it'll pop this up for you. It's called a monthly marketing package. So it's kind of giving you an idea and it's giving you really informed suggestions of what to post and why. So at the
Mhm.
very least, you have 3 posts to use this month if you just go with this,
Okay.
which is great. I mean, it's better than nothing, right?
Mhm.
So you could go with this, and this is all with market updates. It's very in line with what's going on in the market. But if we click out and we just kind of do our own exploring, let's do our own exploring. So this is where I want you to really get a lot of content for your business page to start increasing your presence and your content and get people to start liking your page before the
Mhm.
so when you come into standard infographics, and we're going to hit see all, you can size them for what you're using them for. So these standard ones, they will work on Facebook. It won't cut anything important off, but you could always just specifically go to the Facebook post size. Okay, so you see how it's a perfect square now, and nothing, it'll just fit just right in those Facebook posts.
Does this one also translate into other languages?
No, this does not. There's a few of them that translate into Spanish, but they have not put all of the language options yet. It would just be so much coding for them because they keep these constantly updated. You know what I mean? Like they're always every month they put new ones on every single month. So for them to have to update the language alongside that would just be, I think, a little too much for them. And then it would make it more expensive for us to host. So because we pay for this, we pay to host this website because we love the value that it brings to
Sure.
realtors. So this is what you have here. This is where I suggest that you pull your content from for right now. This is what I was talking about, where like, hey, if you need content, this is where to find it. So these are all brand new. These housing inventory update, beat the heat, right? Housing inventory.
So
active
they
listings.
take it for a certain area, or just click on this one so we
Sure,
can
yeah.
better see. This is for the country, probably.
It is. It is for the country.
Okay. Okay.
It is. But I mean, that's still really valuable information.
No,
And you
it
can
is.
speak into, you could say, hey, this is nationwide data. Here's the information that I know specifically about Brevard County because I'm a Brevard County expert, right? That could be you.
Okay.
That's you. You're the Brevard County expert.
Mm-hmm.
So when you find something that you're ready to post, they give you a whole suggested caption and some hashtags. You don't have to use it all. I like going from the call to action, DM me, or you could say message me. And then you can just come right here and press share. And you can either share it directly to Facebook in that moment, or you can go and schedule it on Facebook for later.
Oh, good, yes.
So this is how I recommend you kind of go about your business page on Facebook and how I think that things would work best for you, knowing how busy you are with your new home and your old home and your family coming in and this and that. You have a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And you're helping your best friend with her house. It's a lot.
Yes.
So what I suggest is take 2 hours. That's all you need is 2 hours. And you probably won't even use the whole 2 hours. Come on here, download, not PDF, download image, because you cannot post PDFs to social media. You can only post images to social media. So download the image for each of the things that you want to post. Then you are going to go onto your Facebook business page. Are you familiar with like Meta, like the Meta business suite where you do all your controls for Facebook and Instagram and stuff?
Yes, I do most on Instagram.
So when you're in Meta Business Suite on Facebook, there's a tab that says Planner. You're just going to go to the Planner tab and start scheduling things for the rest of the month.
Okay. Oh, so I use the 2 hours and I schedule
That's
for
what
the
I
whole
mean.
month.
Just take those 2 hours, schedule everything out, and then you don't have to think about it for the rest of the month. That's
Good,
it,
yeah.
right?
Wonderful.
I think that would
Yes.
be best for you. So take that and go for it, run with it, and spend those.
But then I can mix it with, I take the ideas here and I mix it with some infographics from our MLS from Brevard and.
Sure, if that's what you want to do. And then this is only one category. There's so much more to look at. So this is the infographics that are one page. Then these are swipeable infographics. So I'm going to see all again. And these swipeable ones are the best, in my opinion, for story. So using it for Instagram story or Facebook story is, to me, the best option. So on Facebook story, excuse me. See, we have the same one right here that we were just looking at. So all it's doing is taking the same information and just separating it out onto a few different pages. So that way it's like a little more clickable and it just looks different. And look, if you have your photo set up, that'll have you branded on the post, which is great. I mean, look at that call to action. I love that. So this is a great one to use for stories. All right. Coming back out. So we have two categories for these.
The swipeable infographics. Okay.
Yeah. So standard infographics for posting, swipeable infographics for stories. Then remember yesterday you were saying that you were going to post the photo of the front of the house after the walkthrough. And I said, but wait, you could put a filter on it. This is what I was talking about. So they have ones that they just put up for St. Patrick's Day. They always update them for like the upcoming holidays. But you have a lot of really, really valuable frames on here. So look at that. Dynamic and equity review. Are you kidding me right now? You can show an equity review. And then right here, so this is giving you a place to put the photo. So I'm just going to show you what I mean, like what it kind of looks like when you put a photo in. Hold on, I have plenty of photos of front of houses. Give me 1 second. Oh, you know what? I have one right at the top. I don't know why I didn't use that. It's the house for tomorrow. There we go. Is that it? Yes. Okay. All right. So now it's showing me like, okay, what part do I want to frame? So I have this stuff going on at the bottom. I just want to pull this down a little bit to make sure I get the pool and I don't cover the pool. You'll see what I mean in a second.
Yes.
So see how that didn't cut off the pool? Like I still have that in there because I pulled it up a little bit. So look how good that looks. That looks amazing. Now it's not just a flat photo of the front of the home that everyone else posts. Now you have a photo that really has some value to it. And people are looking at that like, oh, well, maybe she could tell me how much I can get on my house. Maybe.
Sure.
So that's a really great one. And then, you know, it goes down. So you have these dynamic ones. There's so many of them. And this one has like, you know, where just listed, the perfect home for your family. All these ones that say just listed that are just different. They have a different vibe to them. It's all about how you want to push your brand. That is what it's all about. I like this one. It's very like mid-century modern.
It's cool, this one.
Yeah, and it just auto fills in all this information.
Yeah.
And you press customize, and that's how you can change the listing price. Okay, so you see like all of these, I mean, open house. So when you do this open house one, I mean, that's gorgeous. And you can press this the customize, and you can add all these features to it to say what the features of the home are. So that's just one category. There's all these different categories. This is the dynamic category. Then we have, okay, so there's dynamic. We have these are for us at the title company, so don't worry about that. You won't even have them on your account. Closing photos. So remember, like we were talking about this, that your
yes, I have
clients didn't want to take the photo, but if they did, let's say they did, and you wanted to post it, proud new homeowner. Congratulations on becoming a homeowner. Just rented, just leased, accepted offer. All of these different ones. They're so great. Said yes to the address. Listing ones. I love this one. Happiness is homemade. I think it's just so warm and welcoming.
It is.
Right. They just have really nice ones on here. It's very like thought out, and they don't just slap up random stuff on here. They really, really work very hard to make very nice content for you. There's a whole category for open house. This hashtag realtor life. Asking for referrals, talking about selling over list price. Home is where the hand sanitizer is. That's from COVID for sure. Want to know how much your house is worth? Let me assist you. Huge call to action. And then at the bottom, you have all the seasonal ones. So you can see obviously St. Patrick's Day has taken over, but then right after St. Patrick's Day, they're going to release the Easter ones.
Mm-hmm.
See, they even already kind of, oh, that's from Valentine's Day. So you see, title company has the sweetest clients. Oh, that's us. You get it. You get the idea. So those are photo filters. And again, you can size those for whatever you're using them for.
Mm-hmm.
There's only two more categories on here. We have personalized videos. Huge. Personalized videos. So the video category, you can see there's much less available. This is the whole video category right here. And it's
Mm-hmm.
because it's, you know, a lot for them to animate and create these videos. So they don't do so many of
They is a marketing company that you hire when you say they.
right. It looks like that. It looks like you hired a company to make this and it costs, you know, hundreds and hundreds of dollars to make this. Check this out. Yeah, let's just do this one. So all of the videos are really nice and short. I haven't seen any of them that are longer than 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They have really nice animations on them, and it goes over the information in a very clear way. So you don't have to be a part of the real estate industry to understand it,
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
right? It's really nice. It's just very clear information. So
Mm-hmm.
check this out. This is the personalized part right here. Boom.
Oh, yes.
And that's so good, right?
It
You have
is.
you have so many of those. So like, you know, just the only thing I'm going to say is make sure that you either watch the video before you post it or take, you know, just understand what you're sharing. Like I'll show you an
No,
example
yeah,
of what I'm
sure.
talking
Yeah, I
about.
would never post without watching it.
Right, right. So like at the end of this one, this is a great video. I love this video. It's one of my favorites, Mortgage Rates by the Decade. And it's so cute. It like goes through the different decades of like what the like interest rates were, kind of showing how good we have it now. 1990s, 2000s, 2010s, current. So this is what I'm talking about. We're not at 5.5% anymore. Right? So if you were to use this video, it would be a little bit outdated,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
right? So you could say like, you know, you could still use it. You just have to put something in the caption to say we're, you know, interest rates are, you know, only going up. We're thinking they might come down, but you never know. You need to buy now. You know what I mean? Like just something like that, to at least tell people like, hey, I'm aware that this is a little bit outdated. Let me let me
Mm-hmm.
give you the new information. So those are the videos. Last thing I want to show you are shareable calculators. And they actually just added this equity calculator, which I think is like beyond huge right now, because that's what everyone's talking about. That is how you're going to get listings, is through showing people their equity. When you click into it, it's going to show you what it'll look like on your Facebook. Okay. And here you can choose the cover photo. So I actually love that one. I think it's gorgeous. But if you wanted to go with, you know, this one, you could select that. Okay. Or you could select this one, and that'll be what it looks like on your page. But let's say you wanted to do this one. And then before you post it, you can try it out, because this is a calculator. So it's going to just show you what your clients or potential clients would see when they click on that link.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's great, because if you have these shareable calculators, it's almost like a lead generator, because people will come and they'll fill out this form and say like, oh, okay, I want to calculate my equity. It'll push the information to you, and then you get to say like, hey, did you have any questions about your equity? I would love to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's a
So,
really
so
nice
they need
warm
they
lead.
need to fill something in when they ask for the
Right.
calculation.
So what it's gonna this is what it's gonna look like. You're gonna have just wanna let me start over. So this is what it's going to look like. That's what people will see on your page. They
Okay.
can then click it. And when they click it, it'll look like this. Step 1 of 3. And you get to say, okay, purchase price, 500,000, 20% down payment. And I have a loan balance of 260,000. So I'm going to hit next, plug in how much you think your house is worth. Oh, well, my house is definitely worth $800,000.
Mhm.
Check that out.
Ah,
So do
okay.
you see how that worked? It
Mhm.
the power was in their hands. They were thinking they knew everything. And it's like, well, do you want a more accurate estimate? Because I can do that for you. And then it
Mhm.
asks for their home address and their email address for you to then reach out to this really hot lead. I mean, if they're going that extra step to click on your link to see what their equity is, they obviously have questions. They obviously
Mhm.
are ripe for a
Mhm.
conversation.
Sure.
Right. So that's a really valuable tool as well. So those are the categories on the marketing side that I really want you to focus on leading up to the Brokers Open. I'm going to check back in with you in about 2 weeks to
Yeah.
see
Let
where
me
you're
tell you one
at.
thing. I wanted to ask you about the date because I have seen that the one that you're hosting tomorrow, they have listed in January, right? And you're doing the Brokers Open only now because, as I told you, my husband's birthday and all of this. So I wanted to check whether you have the following date free. It's an
Oh, okay.
whether you have April 10 or April 11th free instead of Friday the 5th of April. Whether we could do it like 5 or 6 days later.
Sure. I
Uh,
mean, yeah,
there's
if you want the 11th, I will give you the 11th. I just want to tell you
yeah.
I'm going to be gone that week. So
Oh, really?
it'll be my boss Tracy and my assistant Kamira who does that with you.
Mm-hmm.
If that's okay with you.
Yes, because I think just do it before the family is coming and my husband's birthday. Maybe well, it's a
It's a
little too
little too
much.
much, right?
I think so,
Okay.
and then you expect that you will have showings on the following weekend, and then the guys come from New York, and I'm out of for showings.
Perfect. And that's again,
So
I think that that's a great decision because then it really gives the home some time to get traction on its own.
yes, and
And we're totally good with all that. Like if you have like the listing go up and you post something, which I hope you do on your social media,
mm-hmm,
right? Let
sure.
me know. Just shoot me a text. Hey, Rose, I posted the listing on my Facebook page. If you could share it, please.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
100%. I'll
Mm-hmm.
share it. Tracy will share it. My assistant will share it, and we'll help to get the word out when the listing's up. And then
Okay.
we'll start marketing it a week later for the Brokers Open.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'll put you on
Sure.
for the 11th. Did you want to stay with the same time, the 12 to 2?
Yes, yes. I
Okay,
think that's a good time, and I think it's better to have it on a Thursday than on a Friday, and then at least everybody will be gone, and I can focus the few days before the brokers open just on that. So,
perfect. So
but it's a
Trace,
pity you're not here because this is our relationship,
I know it's okay. Here, Tracy, come meet Susanna real quick.
You look terrible.
I know you look terrible. It's okay. I look terrible too. It's fine. Susanna, this is Tracy.
Hi,
She's the
Tracy.
marketing director and
How
one
are
of
you,
the owners
Susanna?
of Supreme Title.
All I've heard is Susanna. So I'm very much looking forward to meeting you.
So we were just
Yes, I'll
talking.
be there tomorrow at your brokers open.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Good. I'll be able to shake your hand there.
So
Yes.
what we were just talking